I'm so glad to be here this Tuesday, and you know the reason. We are the very first day of November, the 11th month of 2022. After this month, we only have 1 month to the end of the year. And today is not just November 1st, it's also the very first Tuesday. So I'm so glad, I'm so elated. Honestly, I praise the Lord for what He has done for me, my viewers, my subscribers, my entire family, my entire friends, people who love me around the world, who take their time, who spend money in nature to watch my videos. God bless you all. Today is a Tuesday for one of my core teaching, and I'm continuing with free will, but this time I'm teaching on the philosophical view of free will. You know, on Fridays, I discuss or talk on trending or contemporary issues that are beneficial to our lives. Before I continue, let's join Learn with Joes. I welcome you back. This is Learn with Joes, an academy of knowledge economy. And my name is Josephine, your digital professor. Today is Tuesday, the very first day of November 2022. And I'm teaching on the philosophical view of free will. And you know, for those who are so familiar with this, my teaching concept, I like to show kind of bullet points, and that's why I present PowerPoint presentation so that you can all follow me as I teach. I don't want an excuse. What's that professor saying? I cannot decipher or understand that diction or that pronunciation. We come from different cultures. We speak differently. Sometimes we use different pronunciation for certain words. And because this language is an academy of in-depth knowledge, I like you all to see whatever I say, whatever I teach, and then you understand exactly what I'm trying to do. So when I'm now going to share with you my PowerPoint presentation on the philosophical view of free will. The philosophical view of free will. Most people, if asked, would like genuine freedom of choice and proper free will. But can we have it? That's a question. Everybody loves to be free. We love freedom. We love freedom of choice to choose for ourselves whatever we want. But can we all have it? Philosophy offers a more complex analysis of this issue than the general scientific view outlined. And when you say above, it was one I outlined last Tuesday. Because last Tuesday, I outlined the scientific view of free will. You know, when I have my PowerPoint presentation, it's like continuous. So now above for me is the last slides that I showed on the scientific view. So within the philosophical tradition, and given the broad set of philosophical principles belonging to this tradition, there are two main strands of argument of free will. The very first one is ethical free will, and the second one is psychological free will. The ethical and psychological free will are the two strands of tradition within the philosophical view. It is the set of psychological considerations that concerns us more directly here. Of course, ethical concerns are always present in the background of any debate. There is no debate ongoing, especially in philosophical debate, that we don't have ethical background of it. As the main features of the doctrine of free will have been sketched in the history of the problem, a very brief account of the argument for moral freedom will now survive. Let me put it this way. Defenders of free will as the capacity of self-determination were viewed as free power that defined will. By self is not a single present mental state, according to William James, nor a series of mental states, according to David Hume and James Mill, but an abiding rational being that is the subject and cause of these states. So we should be able to distinguish between spontaneous acts, that is, those proceeding from an internal principle, such as the growth of plants and impulsive movements of animals, from voluntary acts in a broad sense, like those proceeding from an internal principle with the apprehension of an end, talking about all conscious desires. And finally, those voluntary in the strict sense, that is, deliberate or free acts. What distinguishes a voluntary act from a non-voluntary one is that there is a self-conscious advertence, that is, to turn one's attention to our causality, or an awareness that we are choosing the act of acquiescing in the desire of it. Let's look at it this way. Spontaneous acts and desires are opposed to coaction or external compulsion, but they are not thereby morally free acts. No, they are not. They may still be the necessary outcome of the nature of the agent, causal agent. The actions of lower animals, the insane young children, I won't say, well, most young children are not insane, the insane ones are many impulsive acts of adult life. The essential feature of free volition is the element of choice. The vis elective, as St. Thomas Aquinas calls it, or because we want it, as Bailey Piper puts it. There is a simultaneous interrogative awareness in the form of the query: shall I acquiesce or shall I resist? Shall I do it? Or shall I do something else? This consequent acceptance or refusal, ratification or rejection through either may be of varying degrees of completeness. Because in any action we want to take at times, there are ponderings that are within before that action is taken. This act of consent or approval converts a mere involuntary impulse or desire into a free volition and makes me accountable for it. Because once I did it, I am accountable for it. A train of thought or volition deliberately initiated or acquiesced in but afterward continued merely spontaneously without reflective advantage to our elective adoption. And it remains free in causa, for there was a choice, a free choice about bringing it about. So I am therefore responsible for it. Though the process has passed into the department of merely spontaneous or automatic activity, but I did it. So I am responsible for it. So a large part of the operation of carrying out a resolution, once the decision is made, is typical of this kind. The question of free will may now be stated thus. And I'm talking about the question of free will, the philosophical way. It may be stated thus. Given all the conditions requisite for eliciting an act of will, except the act itself, thus the act necessarily follow. Are all my volitions the inevitable outcome of my character and the motives acting on me at the time of the date? Are all my volitions the inevitable outcome of my character and the motives acting on me at the time? Fatalists, necessarians, and determinists answer yes to this question. But libertarians, indeterminists, and anti-determinists reply no to it. The mind or soul in deliberate actions is a free cause. But given all of the conditions requisite for action, by our mind and soul, can act or abstain from action. It can, and sometimes does, exercise its causality against the weight of character and present motives. And that is why sometimes when you take an action, an impulse is done, you might regret it because you think it's out of tune with your character. But the deed has been done. It's of free will that you have done it. So, these are the ethical and the psychological angles to free will that are determined by the philosophical view of free will. Join me next Tuesday. We still continue on free will, and I might be ending very soon, concluding on determinism and free will. Like I said sometimes in one of the videos, if you want to know more on one-to-one or group teaching, you can reach me I'll be willing to do it for a minimal cost. And if it's the PDF or my teachings that you require, all you need to do is mail me, and I will share with you the PDF and send to you that PDF, still with a very, very minimal cost to encourage me. This free teaching on YouTube cannot be comprehensive because it's free. So encourage me by buying my PDF or by coming to what I call masterclass, which can be one-to-one with you, or you can organize some of your mates together and I can have a group teaching with you. I want to thank all my subscribers and viewers for continuing to watch this video. Soon, by God's grace, we will soon be 1 year old. And for those who have followed me in this last 11 months, I want to say thank you. Thank you very much. I love you. Remain blessed.